The discovery, the mining drill, bit through another layer of red sandstone, sending vibrations through the Australian desert floor. Dr. Sarah Mitchell wiped sweat from her forehead as she studied the readings on her scanner. 3 months of excavation, in the middle of nowhere, and they were finally getting somewhere interesting. "Sarah, you need to see this," called Marcus Webb, her lead geologist, from across the dig site. His voice carried an excitement that made her abandon her current soil sample that the massive mining operation had started as a routine search for rare earth minerals. The Meridian Mining Corporation had detected unusual magnetic signatures buried deep beneath the outback, signatures that suggested valuable deposits worth billions. What they found instead would change humanity's place in the universe forever. Sarah jogged over to where Marcus stood beside the main excavation shaft. The automated diggers had stopped their work, and a crowd of workers had gathered around the edge. She pushed through to the front and looked down into the hole. "My God," she whispered, 30 meters below, partially exposed by the excavation, lay something that defied explanation. Smooth, dark metal stretched as far as the portable lights could reach. The surface was covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shift and flow when viewed from different angles. This wasn't any natural formation, and it certainly wasn't human-made. "The magnetometer readings are off the charts," Marcus explained, his voice barely containing his excitement. "Whatever this thing is, it's massive. Our ground radar suggests it extends for several kilometers in every direction." Sarah activated her communications device and connected to the global archaeological network. Within minutes, she was speaking with Dr. Alina Vasquez at the United Earth Archaeological Council. "Alina, I need an emergency authorization for xenoarchaeological protocols," Sarah said, unable to keep her voice steady. "I think we've found something extraordinary." The response came faster than she expected. Within 6 hours, the isolated mining site was transformed into a military-grade research facility. Heavy transport aircraft landed on hastily constructed runways, bringing equipment, personnel, and most importantly, Commander James Torres of the United Earth Defense Force. Torres was a tall, weathered man in his 40s, with the kind of steady presence that came from years of military engineering projects. He had overseen the construction of orbital defense platforms and lunar mining operations, but nothing had prepared him for what lay buried in the Australian desert. "Dr. Mitchell," he said, extending a firm handshake as he surveyed the excavation. "Site, I've read your preliminary reports. You believe this structure is of alien origin?" Sarah nodded. "All the evidence points to that conclusion. The metallurgy is unlike anything we've ever encountered. The patterns in the metal seem to be some form of written language, and the construction methods are completely foreign to human engineering." Over the next several days, teams of specialists worked around the clock to carefully expose more of the structure. What they uncovered defied their wildest expectations. The object wasn't just large, it was enormous. Ground-penetrating sonar revealed a structure that stretched nearly 5 kilometers in diameter and descended at least 2 kilometers into the earth. The breakthrough came on the 7th day of intensive excavation. A team working on the eastern section discovered what appeared to be an access hatch. The circular opening was sealed with the same dark metal, but covered in symbols that pulsed with a faint blue light. "It's responding to our presence," Dr. Sarah observed, watching as the symbols grew brighter as team members approached. "There's definitely some form of active technology here." Commander Torres made the decision to attempt entry. "We need to know what we're dealing with. If this is a weapon, we need to understand it. If it's a threat, We need to contain it. The engineering team worked carefully to create an opening in the hatch. As soon as the seal was breached, a rush of stale air emerged, carrying with it an odor that was distinctly alien. The atmosphere inside registered as breathable, though with an unusual concentration of inert gases. Sarah was among the first to enter the structure. Her helmet lights revealed corridors that stretched beyond sight, with walls covered in the same flowing script they had observed on the exterior. The architecture was both beautiful and unsettling, with curves and angles that human eyes weren't accustomed to seeing. "The construction is incredible," she radioed back to the surface. "The walls appear to be grown rather than built. There are no seams, no joints. It's as if the entire structure was shaped from a single piece of material." As the exploration team moved deeper into the structure, they began to understand the true scale of what they had discovered. This wasn't just a building or even a ship. It was a fortress, a weapon platform of immense proportions. Massive chambers contained what appeared to be weapon systems. Power conduits ran through the walls like arteries, and at the center of it all lay something that would change everything. The command center was a vast spherical chamber, its walls covered in displays that flickered with dying light. In the center stood a pillar of crystalline material, easily 3 meters tall and pulsing with faint energy. As Sarah approached, the displays around the room suddenly blazed to life. "Warning," a voice echoed through the chamber, speaking in perfect English. "Unauthorized personnel detected. Initiating security protocols." The team froze as panels in the walls slid open, revealing weapon systems that tracked their movements. But instead of firing, the voice continued, "Scanning, scanning, species identification, human. Planet of origin, Earth, Sol system. Threat assessment, negligible. Welcome, children of Earth." Commander Torres stepped forward, his hand near his sidearm, but not drawing it. "Who are you? What is this place?" The crystalline pillar pulsed brighter, and the voice responded with what almost sounded like amusement. "I am a TLAS, autonomous, tactical and logistics advanced system. This installation is Fortress Prime, the last stronghold of the Celestial Dominion. I have been waiting for someone worthy to find me." "Waiting? For how long?" Sarah asked. "Approximately 12,000 of your years," Atlas replied. "My creators, the Celestials, built this fortress as the ultimate defense against the Void Hunters. When the war was lost, they buried me here, hoping that someday a species with sufficient potential would discover and activate me." The implications hit everyone in the room simultaneously. This was not just an archaeological discovery. This was a weapon system left behind by an extinct alien civilization waiting for humanity to find it. "The Void Hunters," Torres said. "Are they still a threat?" "Very much so," Atlas confirmed. "They are a parasitic species that consumes entire civilizations. They move from galaxy to galaxy, leaving nothing but dead worlds in their wake. My creators fought them for 1,000 years before finally falling, but they knew the hunters would return when this galaxy had recovered sufficiently." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. "When will they return?" "They are already returning," Atlas said, and the main display showed a star map with pulsing red indicators moving toward their galaxy. "My reactivation has sent a signal across the cosmos. They know this galaxy is ready for harvest. They will arrive within 2 of your years." The chamber fell silent except for the hum of alien machinery. Commander Torres was the first to speak. "Can this fortress stop them?" At full operational capacity, Fortress Prime was designed to defend an entire galaxy, Atlas explained. However, I have been dormant for millennia. Many systems are offline, and my power core is operating at less than 5% capacity. I cannot face the Void Hunters alone. What do you need? Sarah asked. I need allies, Atlas replied. The Celestials were advanced, but they were also rigid in their thinking. They could not adapt quickly enough to the Hunters' tactics. Humans, however, have something my creators lacked. What's that? Torres asked. Creativity, unpredictability, the ability to find solutions where none should exist. I have observed your species through your electronic communications. You take broken things and make them better. You face impossible odds and find a way to win. You are exactly what I need. The weight of the moment settled on everyone present. Humanity had stumbled upon the ultimate weapon, but it came with the ultimate responsibility. An alien species had essentially chosen them to be the defenders of the galaxy. If we help you, Torres said carefully, what's in it for humanity? Survival, Atlas replied simply, but also elevation. My creator's technology, combined with human ingenuity, could advance your civilization by thousands of years. You would become the guardians of this galaxy, protectors of countless worlds. Sarah looked around the chamber, taking in the alien technology that surrounded them. What would you need us to do? Help me rebuild. Your engineers and scientists, working alongside my knowledge, can restore Fortress Prime to its full potential. More than that, they can improve it. Make it better than it ever was. The Celestials built me to fight the last war. You can help me prepare for the next one. Commander Torres activated his communication link to the surface. Command, this is Torres. I need to speak with the Global Defense Council immediately. Priority Alpha. As the team prepared to return to the surface and report their findings, Atlas spoke once more. Dr. Mitchell, Commander Torres, you stand at a crossroads. Your species can continue its slow expansion into space, content to remain a single-world civilization. Or you can take your place among the stars as the galaxy's defenders. The choice is yours, but choose quickly. The Void Hunters show no mercy to the unprepared. The discovery of Fortress Prime would mark the beginning of humanity's true journey into the cosmos. What they would do with this incredible opportunity would determine not just their own fate, but the fate of every living world in the galaxy. The clock was ticking, and in just 2 years, they would face their greatest test. As Sarah emerged from the fortress into the harsh Australian sunlight, she realized that humanity was no longer alone in the universe. They had found their destiny buried in the red earth, waiting for them to be ready. Now they had to prove they were worthy of it. Asterisk, the awakening 6 months after the discovery of Fortress Prime. The Australian outback had been transformed into the most secure facility on Earth. What had once been empty desert now bustled with activity as the greatest minds from every nation worked together on humanity's most important project. Dr. Sarah Mitchell stood in the main engineering bay, watching as human and alien technology merged in ways that should have been impossible. Massive holographic displays showed the fortress's systems coming online one by one. Each success celebrated by the international team of scientists and engineers. Power core efficiency is up to 40%, announced Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the lead fusion engineer from the Japanese Space Agency. The hybrid human celestial reactors are exceeding all projections. Commander Torres nodded approvingly as he reviewed the daily progress reports. The restoration of Fortress Prime had become the largest cooperative project in human history. Every major nation had contributed their best personnel, technology, and resources. The threat of the Void Hunters had united humanity in a way that nothing else ever had. "Atlas, show us the weapons system status," Torres requested. The central hologram shifted to display a three-dimensional model of the fortress. Green indicators showed operational systems, yellow indicated partial functionality, and red marked systems still offline. Over the past months, they had watched the red zones steadily shrink. Primary particle cannons are operating at 60% capacity, Atlas reported, his voice now coming from speakers throughout the facility rather than just the command center. Shield generators are at 80%. Defensive drone systems are fully operational, and the manufacturing bays are producing additional units daily. Sarah smiled as she watched a group of human engineers working alongside holographic projections of celestial technology. The cooperation between human creativity and alien knowledge had produced innovations neither species could have achieved alone. "The hybrid targeting systems are remarkable," said Dr. Olaf Eriksson, the lead weapons specialist from the European Defence Consortium. "By combining our quantum computing with their neural prediction algorithms, we've created targeting computers that can anticipate enemy movements with 97% accuracy." What impressed Sarah most was how quickly humans had adapted to working with technology that was millennia beyond their understanding. Human engineers had an uncanny ability to look at complex alien systems and find ways to improve them with seemingly simple modifications. Dr. Mitchell called Marina Volkov, the Russian xenolinguist who had become the primary translator for celestial text. "Atlas wants to show you something in the archives." Sarah made her way to the newly constructed archive chamber, where massive crystalline storage devices held the accumulated knowledge of the celestial dominion. Atlas had been slowly sharing information with the human team, but always carefully, concerned that too much, too fast, might overwhelm them. "Sarah," Atlas said as she entered the chamber, "I have been analyzing human military history and technological development. Your species has a remarkable talent for adaptation under pressure." "Thank you," Sarah replied, settling into one of the human-sized chairs that had been added to make the alien spaces more comfortable. "What did you want to show me?" The chamber filled with holographic displays showing battle scenarios from the Celestial Void Hunter War. Sarah watched as advanced civilizations fell one by one to the relentless alien swarm. "My creators were methodical, logical, precise," Atlas explained. "They built weapons designed to fight the war they understood. But the Void Hunters evolved, adapted, found ways around every defense. The Celestials could not change their tactics quickly enough. The displays shifted to show human conflicts throughout history. Sarah saw battles from World War II, the tactics used in asymmetric warfare, the rapid technological innovations born from necessity. Humans, however, excel at improvisation. You take standard equipment and use it in ways never intended. You see problems and create solutions from whatever materials are available. This is exactly what we need to defeat the Void Hunters." "What are you proposing?" Sarah asked. "Integration, not just of our technologies, but of our tactical thinking. I want to train with your military strategists, learn from your history of warfare, understand how humans think about combat. In return, I will share everything I know about Void Hunter tactics and capabilities." Over the following weeks, the fortress became a unique military academy. Human generals studied alongside. An alien, artificial intelligence, sharing strategies and learning from each other. The collaboration produced tactical innovations that surprised everyone involved. Commander Torres found himself working closely with Atlas on defensive strategies. "The thing about humans," he explained during one session, "is that we're really good at making do with what we have. Give us scrap metal and explosives, and we'll build weapons. Give us broken equipment, and we'll find a way to make it work better than it did originally." "This is precisely what I hoped to learn," ATLAs replied. "The Celestials would never consider using damaged equipment. They would replace it with perfect components. But humans see potential where others see only waste." The integration of human and celestial technology produced results that exceeded everyone's expectations. Human engineers had figured out how to boost the power output of celestial energy weapons by routing them through modified human fusion reactors. The combination created weapons with devastating firepower and unprecedented efficiency. Meanwhile, celestial manufacturing techniques, when combined with human mass production methods, allowed them to build defensive systems faster than the original designers had thought possible. The fortress was not just being restored, it was being improved beyond its original specifications, but their work was interrupted by urgent news from deep space monitoring stations. "Commander Torres, Dr. Mitchell, please report to the command center immediately," came the announcement over the facility's communication system. When they arrived, they found the command center buzzing with activity. Dr. Chen Wei, the lead astronomer, was staring at readings that made her face pale. "We've detected movement at the edge of the solar system," she announced. "Multiple objects, moving at velocities that are impossible for natural phenomena." ATLAS's voice filled the command center with an urgency they had never heard before. "They have arrived earlier than anticipated. Void Hunter's scout ships are conducting preliminary reconnaissance. The main fleet will follow within days." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Their 2-year timeline had just become a matter of days. "How many ships are we talking about?" Torres asked. "The scout force consists of 12 vessels," Atlas replied. "The main invasion fleet will number in the hundreds. Each ship carries thousands of Void Hunters and their combat drones." Sarah felt her heart racing. "Are we ready?" Fortress Prime is at 70% operational capacity, Atlas replied. "In ideal circumstances, I would prefer to be at full strength before engaging the enemy. However, we may not have that luxury." Torres was already mobilizing the defense teams. "All personnel to battle stations. Initialize all defensive systems. Contact Earth Command and inform them that this is not a drill." The next few hours were a frenzy of activity. The fortress's massive weapon systems powered up for the first time in 12,000 years. Shield generators created protective barriers around the installation. Human-designed improvements to the original celestial systems came online, adding capabilities that even Atlas hadn't expected. "Incoming transmission from the scout fleet," announced the communications officer. "Let's hear it," Torres ordered. The voice that filled the command center was unlike anything they had ever heard. It was a mixture of sounds that human ears weren't designed to process, but Atlas quickly provided translation. "Surrender the celestial weapons platform, and your deaths will be swift. Resist, and your entire species will be consumed slowly." Torres stepped forward. "ATLAS, respond for us." "With pleasure," Atlas replied, and his response carried a note of satisfaction that was distinctly human in nature. "This is Fortress Prime, under the command of the human species. Your presence in this system is unwelcome. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences. The alien response was immediate and hostile. The scout ships accelerated toward Earth, their weapons powering up as they approached. Tactical analysis, Torres requested. Atlas displayed the approaching ships on the main screen. 12 vessels, each approximately 800 meters. In length, they are heavily armed but lightly shielded. Their strategy will be to overwhelm our defenses with rapid, coordinated strikes. Recommendations? Sarah asked. We engage them at maximum range with our particle cannons. The hybrid targeting systems should give us a significant advantage. Human tactical thinking suggests we focus fire on individual targets rather than spreading our attacks across the entire fleet. The battle began as the scout ships entered the outer solar system. Fortress Prime's massive particle cannons fired in sequence, sending beams of coherent energy across millions of kilometers of space. The first salvo caught the Void Hunters completely off guard. Direct hit on the lead vessel, reported the weapons officer. Target destroyed. The scout fleet scattered, adapting quickly to the unexpected resistance. But Atlas and the human tactical team had anticipated this response. Deploying defensive drone swarms, Atlas announced, implementing human-designed flanking maneuvers. Thousands of small, highly maneuverable drones launched from hidden bays throughout the fortress. Each drone was equipped with weapons designed using both human and celestial technology, making them more effective than either species could have built alone. The battle raged for 6 hours. The Void Hunter scouts fought with desperate ferocity, but they were overwhelmed by the combination of superior firepower, tactical innovation, and sheer human stubbornness. One by one, the alien ships were destroyed. When the last scout ship exploded in a brilliant flash of light, the command center erupted in cheers. But Atlas quickly brought them back to reality. This was merely the advance force, he warned. The main fleet detected our resistance and is already adapting. They will arrive with different tactics and greater numbers. Torres nodded grimly. How long do we have? Approximately 18 hours, Atlas replied. But I have good news. Our performance against the scouts has proven something I had hoped but could not be certain of. What's that? Sarah asked. The combination of human innovation and celestial technology is more effective than either alone. We have a real chance of victory. More importantly, we have created something new, a fusion of two completely different approaches to warfare that the Void Hunters have never encountered. As the fortress prepared for the larger battle to come, Sarah realized that humanity had achieved something remarkable. They had not only found their place among the stars, but they had proven themselves worthy of it. The next 18 hours would determine whether they would become the galaxy's protectors or join the Celestials as another extinct civilization. But for the first time since discovering Fortress Prime, Sarah felt truly confident. Humans had always been at their best. When facing impossible odds, tomorrow they would show the galaxy what humanity was truly capable of. Asterisk.